The garden. Some call it the outer or endless green. Some see it as a harsh, inhospitable land, and some call it the last bastion of freedom. Some strive to conquer it. Poor souls. The truth is, nothing out there is like it is on the inside. And it is all immeasurably vast. Too vast, even. And yet, if you know where to look, you can maybe find yourself. How am I so sure about this? Simple enough. I've seen it. Welcome to the garden. The garden. Some call it the outer or endless green. Some see it as a harsh, inhospitable land, and some call it the last bastion of freedom. Some strive to conquer it. Poor souls. The truth is, nothing out there is like it is on the inside. And it is all immeasurably vast. Too vast, even. And yet, if you know where to look, you can maybe find yourself. How am I so sure about this? Simple enough. I've seen it. Welcome to the garden. The garden. Some call it the outer or endless green. Some see it as a harsh, inhospitable land, and some call it the last bastion of freedom. Some strive to conquer it. Poor souls. The truth is, nothing out there is like it is on the inside. And it is all immeasurably vast. Too vast, even. And yet, if you know where to look, you can maybe find yourself. How am I so sure about this? Simple enough. I've seen it. Welcome to the garden.
Hello everyone, welcome.
Hello.
Everything should work fine. You should be able to see us on YouTube and on the launch party page on Backerkit. Hope we should have done everything right this time. So yes, 55 minutes until the launch of Adventures in the Household Journey to the Garden on Backerkit. I see there's already a lot of you here. Hi everyone. Hi Gaia, Andrea, Andrew, Jay, and Grelo. Hi Marcus, Katerina, and all of you. Chloe. There's always so many of you. How are you doing today? Can you hear us? Can you see us? Okay, thank you, Grelo. Always good to know that everything is working.
Yes, it's every single time. It's an adventure here because, you know.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know why we have chosen this curious way to use the last hour before the launch in live stream with our audience while we still have like 1,000 and more things to do. But I think that the winning thing is to share our anxiety with you while we wait for the inevitable launch. I love it, yes. Yes, Andrea, I love every single one of you, you know that. But yes, every time I ask myself, why are we doing this?
It's I guess we like habits. We like
Yes.
you know
Yeah.
doing things in a certain way, and one of the things that we like the most, as you know, is having this 1 hour live stream right before the start of a campaign or right before the end of the campaign, because when you are doing a crowdfunding campaign, there's always work that needs to be done. You are not 100% sure that everything is working, that everything is good, that you didn't make any mistake. So I guess by doing this live stream, we kind of stop working an hour before, so we are not over, stressing on all the things that we certainly have done wrong this time. But we are focusing on the experience of the campaign. Hi, Gianluca. Thanks, Grillo. Yes. Hello to, of course, to Daniela and Caterina, who are behind the scene and are currently working. Daniela is actually painting in the other room. She's touching up one of the stretch goals that we might unlock in the next days. And Caterina is here with us, is helping answering all of the questions on Discord server, and the answer that will come on inevitably on the Backerkit page. So yeah, there's more than us two working at this. What can we say? It feels weird doing this campaign so early. As you know, we already had a crowdfunding campaign, very successful crowdfunding campaign for Household Volume 2, The Household, which is an expansion to Household Volume 1 about the garden. It was great, and we did anticipate that we would do a 5e conversion of the garden as well. We didn't anticipate that we were going to do it this soon, but then there was so many of you asking for 5th edition of the garden expansion, so we decided to do it right away on the, it was a continuous work on Household Volume 2 and now Adventures in the Household 2. So that was bring us here, but still it feels a little bit weird that we are doing this again this soon. Sorry, was a little bit of problem with OBS. Let me know if we are still live. Everything still works.
Yes, we should. They are saying that my mic is not at 100%. It's the usual, but I try to mix and match things, my settings, so it should be better, I hope, since we will be here talking for another 50 minutes. So I hope my mic sounds good. Thank you, Grillo.
Sorry, there was something that came up with OBS. So, what to say about that we didn't already say 100 times. So in the first thing that we need to say is, once again, that we might unlock some things for this new campaign that will be retroactively unlocked in the first campaign. So if you backed Household Volume 2, you might still get something new from this campaign. We will not have pledges here or add-ons here for the original edition of Household, both Volume 1 or Volume 2. For that, you can still go to the pre-order store of the original Household Volume 2 campaign. So if you need the original system, the D6 system for Household, you can pre-order it right away on Backerkit. Late pledges are open.
Or whatever you may have of the original Household pre-order store, you can find the link inside the frequently asked questions in this campaign, or just by going in the old campaign, there's the link to reach that. So don't worry. As we said several times, if you missed the original Household campaign, pre-orders will still be open for a couple or more months, maybe 3, 4. I don't know. I don't do math, but they will still be open. So they are sure.
What's the
While yes, during this campaign you will just find pledges and add-ons regarding the 5e version, Adventures in the Household, just to avoid confusion. Hopefully, we are trying, at least.
Marcus is asking what are the most crazy stretch goals idea for a journey to the garden, or some crazy idea that we discarded because it was too crazy. I have to say that when it comes to household, stretch goals don't get very crazy. We have certain stuff that we like to do, certain premium objects. We have certain addition to the game, but mostly it's not like Outgun where we go crazy with stretch goals and we invent stuff going on. And the reason is that household, it's already pretty much decided. It got a very strict canon. We cannot just add stuff to household
Yes.
on a whim. So
I think
usually
most of our productive attention is on the books themselves. We want them to be rich and beautiful and a very good object. We like the boxes, the book-shaped boxes. We like our things. So everything is very pricey, I must admit. So we always trying to have the best possible standard items for house. I mean, we already allowed a lot of very fun stuff during Household Volume 2 crowdfunding campaign. But yes, that was mainly because it was incredible in its goals within that. Thank you.
But speaking of stretch goal, there is a ton of digital stretch goal or addition to the game that were unlocked during the first campaign. And these, as you can see in the last update, because Backerkit gave us a chance to actually update the project even before
Good
launch,
luck.
which is very useful for something like this. We decided to we made what we call a care package, an household care package, which basically means that all the digital stretch goal, the addition to the games that were unlocked during the first campaign, will be automatically ported to Journey to the Garden. So all the new city, all the new location, all the new adversaries, the opponents, the colossal beast, but also the new contract, but also the audio guide, the soundtrack, the digital soundtrack, everything will be also unlocked right away. From as soon as we are funded, we unlock like, I believe there are 15 stretch code that will be already unlocked. Because they will require, of course, some work, especially if we talk about the opponent. They will need to be redone entirely, but
Yes.
still the art is already there. You already saw that they are already part of the lore, so we don't want to unlock them. We don't want to risk people not getting the whole experience from Journey to the Garden. So everything is already unlocked. Speaking of things that are already there, I think it could be good to give a look to the pledges of this campaign. Here I have, the Garden Hero and the Household Hero. These are the two all-in pledges for this campaign. The Garden Hero is if you already own. It's heavy. If you already
Yes.
own Adventures in the Household Volume 1, then you want to go for Garden Hero, because Garden Hero is all the new stuff. And if you don't own this and you want to start with everything, you want everything from day one, then Household Hero is everything from the first campaign and everything from this campaign. So what's everything? Everything new is the new Opera Omnia Volume 2 book-shaped box featuring this marvelous view of the garden from a bird eye, like
Bird
bird
point of view.
perspective. Yeah.
I don't know.
Then you have the green book with the red bird, which is actually Journey to the Garden, which is the garden expansion. Everything you need to play in the garden itself as an explorable location. And then this wintry cover, which is the cover of Winter Never Ends, which is the 5e porting of the saga of the Long Winter, which is basically a series of adventure and adventure hooks and characters that you can use to make a campaign in the garden. And then of course we have the Art of Household, the marvelous landscape format art book with all the arts from Household 1 and Household 2. And then the map of the house, the aces and joker cards in this garden themed version, and the wonderful dice and screen that we did especially for Journey to the Garden. Let me see if I can show you the dice. I am obsessed with this dice. One of the things that I personally like the most of doing Adventures in the Household is the it gives us a chance to make this standard set of 7 polyhedric dice that we do in partnership with Q Workshop.
Yes.
They make the best dice, in my opinion. It's just it's always like something big to be available to do dice with them. And me and Daniela, we have a lot of fun designing these dice, and it's I have to say, as much as I love D6s and our signature system uses custom D6s that you might know or have, a set of polyhedric dice is still a set of polyhedric dice. I mean, it speaks volume to the inner nerd in us. So always happy to do that. Yeah, I know. Thank you guys. We'll bring to Daniela all the love for the art. A second D20 for advantage and disadvantage. That could be an idea also for stretch goals in the future, to have the double D20 for advantages and disadvantages. What else? Also, yes, I did want to show you one more time the screen for Adventures in the Household, because the original, sorry, of course it's not here. I'm using the screen, so I don't know where I put it, but the original screen for Adventures in the Household featured this landscape portrait of Valentin Dulamp, a general of the fairy army. You can see here on the bottom right. And Valentin Dulamp is kind of the symbol, the face of the household army, because she's a general of a legion of fairy soldier. She's a captain of the Golden Backs, so an elite soldier herself. And so we decided to dedicate the first screen to her. Now, when it came to decide who should we put on the screen for Journey to the Garden, we knew we wanted a winter themed screen, and the obvious choice was, of course, to put General Morgana Stralta of the Fey army on the screen, because it's kind of the outside counterpart of Valentin Dulamp. So it's so yeah, I'm very happy that we decided to go this way. I'm always obsessed with the butterfly wings of the Imperial Fair, and I think Daniela is always, I know I say this all of the time and you say this as well, but I think Daniela did an amazing job in capturing like this beautiful, fairy-like yet fierce and strong character that is Morgana of the Silly Court. What's on the inside of the screen? Inside the screen, there
This is
is.
the seasons, it's what we call the season
Yep.
screen. This one over there, meaning while the narrator screen features all the basic rules of the game, whatever you need to play the core rulebook, this will feature all the extra rules, in particular the rules of the season that are somewhat central in all this expansion, of course, big with outside, to have the additional rules from the new book. That's the idea. And regard, sorry that there was a couple of questions
Questions?
before. Will be the option for caramel dice as they are not included in the household hero pledge level. The caramel dice are actually included. They are the original Adventures in the Household Dice. Are included in the Household Hero, are not included in the Garden Hero, of course, but there is a simple add-on. You can add as many sets as you want. These are the caramel dice we're talking about. So if you missed the previous Kickstarter campaign, or if you took something different from the All-In Pledge, you can took them as well. They are one set of these is included just in the Household Hero
Yes.
pledge. And what was do you feel there was anything that didn't convert over well to the 5e from the original system? Actually, Brian, we already talked about it a lot during the first campaign, of course, working with Jacob Rogers, which is the author of the conversion of the game. Sorry, it's very difficult for me to pronounce these words. We found ourselves very happy, I must say, with the final result. We put a lot of work into try to convey the same exact experience that you had at the table with our original system, with the D&D system as well. And I think the job overall was very, very good. We implement the core room. There's a lot of things that are pretty much the same as the original game. Terrible things. So I don't know, Rico, if
No,
there's
I
something.
would say that the only things that it's not that it didn't translate well, but it feels very different, I would say, because I think the translation works very well. Now, if you know me, I was very skeptical about a 5e edition because Household has one main problem. Not all characters are fight oriented. Like there is a huge discrepancy if you are a scholar or if you are a soldier. So it felt to me that we will have to kind of adjust everything to fit in a fight scenario. But with Jacob Rogers, and after playing a lot of Baldur's Gate 3, I have to say we came up with this idea of different scene framework. So the combat scene works different from a social scene or a discovery scene. There is this kind of scene based role playing where turns means different things and actions have different impact on the story. So I think that was translated very well. Actually, I think it works a lot. And I like to play Adventures in the Household just as much as Household. But when it comes to enemies, opponents, as we call them, opponents in Household are their own stuff. They are basically generator of different kind of roles and makes weird stuff happens when they are around. While of course in the 5e edition, in the 5e conversion Adventures in the Household, the opponents are just enemies, are your everyday monster. I think they are cool monster. I think they have some very cool mechanics and they've been translated well. But it's I think it's a different experience.
Yes.
Other than that,
Yes.
outside of fighting against a giant centipede. I feel like actually the games feels really similar. So yes. Um, yeah. Thank you guys. I'm just trying to read all the comments
Yes,
and all the
there's
pictures.
a lot of
Um,
things writing. Thank you. I agree. The caramel dice looks delicious, but they are not for human consumption,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately. But they are, yes, they are very, very good looking. And I get for stretch called a screening piler, some sort of plastic. It's particularly clever. A little bit hard to make and to explain how it will work, but I must admit it's very interesting.
Yeah. Um,
Well,
sorry. What can we say about this new one thing that I want to say is that we haven't talked about actual stretch goal for this campaign. Usually we reveal stretch goal like before, right before starting. This time we will reveal them one at a time, and we'll try to give something old, something new, something old, something new. We will try to keep a good balance between old stuff that still need to be unlocked, or reworked, and new stuff that will be added to the original books as well. The first thing that we want to unlock at 20k will be the household history for adventures in the household. You can see it here on my right. This is what's the household history. Is a laminated foldable poster. Think it like it would be kind of a menu that you can open, fully laminated. On one side there is this beautiful artwork made by Daniela. On the other side you will have a summary of the history of the household and the garden from volume 1 and volume 2, so that you know what happens when it's something that a lot of people are asking about, to have like this visual rendition of all the history of the house. But we decided to put it first for two reasons. First of all, we really want to unlock it for the Journey to the Garden guys as well. It will come at an additional cost, of course, so we still want it to be a stretch goal, but we really want it to be part of the package because it's extremely cool. And second, because once we unlock this, we will reveal the full color
yes.
art to you all, and I think you will appreciate the artwork. Right now you can see it. It's a bit small. It's black and white, but you can already get a glimpse of all the characters. And once we reach 20k, we will show you the full picture, and it is hands down one of the best artwork that Daniela has ever done for household. I am especially obsessed with Titania, the girl on the bottom left. But you will tell us. So this will be the first stretch goal, and then prepare for some surprises. We anticipate that this this campaign will be, I want to say a little bit, but a lot slower than the past one. I have to say that out loud. I already have people asking us, are you ready to break another record? Are you ready for 500k? No, we're not ready.
Thank you for believing in us, but also our hearts will not resist.
We need we need a
we know, I mean, we it's not a mystery, and we know that, of course, a 5e conversion is not as strong as our own original system, but since we have a growing community of players that prefer using Adventures in the Household instead of the original Household, we thought it would be fair to everybody to bring this as soon as possible, so everybody can also choose whatever version they like to continue the story of Household. That being said, as Rico is saying, don't worry if the pace of this campaign it will be just lower than Household Volume 2. I'm not afraid to tell this out loud.
Even half of what Household Volume 2 did is pretty much unreasonable. It's out of the question. So lower down your expectation, because there is a smaller audience. There is Adventures in the Household, it's historically one of our least, if not the least funding campaign that we had. So we know it will be a smaller market. But we are fine with that. We are happy to deliver this project. For us, Adventures in the Household, it's all about widening like the range of people that can actually enjoy Household. For us, Household is much more than just a game. It's a lower setting that we want people to immerse in. So it makes sense for us to deliver it to as much, tables as possible. But yeah, keep it reasonable and don't be deluded or disappointed.
Not disappointed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rick.
If it doesn't mimic the first campaign, we will not. We definitely.
No.
I am.
Our expectations are much lower with this one. We know you guys are fighting with us, so maybe you will have the impulse to feel bad if this is not as successful as the first Household. Don't worry, it's a different campaign for us. So we are happy already, because that's 100 people here right now with us. So every single of these numbers are insane for us.
And Gaia saying that knowing that the character that was created with the community is going to be in the story feels just so warming to the heart. For those of you that don't know, the last stretch goal of the last campaign was a character that was created live with the audience. Daniela made a little sketch and now she's working on the full. We hope to reveal her. Her name is Elsie, and she's an animal handler, a Zulua animal handler with a moth, which is a new animal companion. We hope to reveal the full art before the end of this campaign if Daniela makes it in time. And we also we decided you will find her in a saga of the fragile, a saga of the long winter or Winter Never Ends. We decided to kind of leave Elsie outside of the story, meaning that she will have her full background, her full character sheet like all the other characters, but she will not actually be featured in the main saga. She will be kind of a jolly, kind of a wild card character that you can fit in any adventure. So basically, if you want to play as Elsie, you can follow any kind of a storyline, because she will have a more open background and she will easily be adjustable to all your needs. So this was how we presented Petrolio in the first Italian edition of Household. Yes. Then it changed, but that's an idea that we had and that we want to repeat with Elsie. Yeah, exactly. So a lot of comments.
They are taking bets of the timing of the 100% funding.
And
the funding will be at 10K as per our usual, because it's easier for us to keep track of the numbers, like percentage. And so it keeps our lives a little bit easier. And as you know, it's a lot of work to do during a crowdfunding campaign, and calculating a different funding would be too much for us. But yes, so the funding is 10K. Thank you, Gaia. Who knows when it will be fun. Where's set Ultra? No, it's without set. Yeah, that's true. Where's set? I don't know. He's probably alive somewhere.
I will always go for the deluxe set if this is an option. Then we as a policy, we do not do limited editions in the classical set. We don't like alternate cover or limited edition cover. We feel like that once we have the perfect cover for a book, that should be the basic, like everyone should get the product as intended. If I had to do a limited edition, it would really be a problem for me to make it different than the standard edition, because the standard edition is how we want the product to be. So it's kind of always a conundrum for us, because we know they sell well, we know a lot of people ask for them. We will consider making them like for the first 10 year of household, like to celebrate something. So it's going to be a thematic, like limited edition. That could make sense to me, but not like a general limited edition. But what we do in our campaign, we have kind of limited edition deluxe boxes, like this one. So with full pledge, household hero or garden hero pledge, you got this. In the case of household, there is this book-shaped box. It looks like an encyclopedia, and then inside you have a view of the house, and household volume 2, it will be the garden, and you've got your books inside. So that's our idea, to make a limited edition that doesn't leave, people who got the standard edition like with a lesser product, if that makes sense.
Of course, 2020. Let's not talk about 2027. Let's see how the campaign will go. Yeah, but how do you divide your work between household, outgunned, and your other projects? And how do you manage not to get crazy with all of that? We do not. We get crazy with all of that because, as we probably said a couple of times, we try to work to a bunch of different projects at the same time by managing that project in various stages. So we are writing something and designing something else and producing something else and fulfilling something else. Well, eventually will be fulfilled very, very soon. So yeah, we try to not, be in writing stage with different project, because it would be a little bit difficult for us, but to jiggle, how it's called, between different projects. Yes, we try not to go completely crazy, but yes, we basically do this 24/7, and that's our main concern: how to use the right amount of energy and time on every different project. Or different project needs different things, etc. But yes, it just something we do day by day.
Yes.
I don't know how else to put this, but yes, we have a lot of calendars and programs to, and our aim is to work on several things together in this way, because we love for our project, we want them to progress further and further. As someone with a lot of D&D player friends, do you think it would be wise to purchase the Household 5e expansion, or should I try to teach them the original Household? It's a very different question for us. It depends on your friends. What do they like? I mean, for us, as author of the original game, we of course love the original game. We like more the original game, but we did everything we could to keep the experience of Household, the IP of Household, the story and the feeling of Household as similar as possible in the Dungeons and Dragons version. So if you have a D&D play of friends and you prefer not to drag them into a very different dice mechanic, Adventures in the Household, it's a very valid option. If you want to try and have them try a different dice mechanic, then of course we're happy for you to join the rank of the original Household play. But it's not an easy question.
I always feel compelled to say that as one of the author of the original system and the original Household, and if you know me, I'm all about Household, I love Household. I don't feel that if you are playing Adventures in the Household, you are missing out on something. I still feel that this is the same game, this is the same experience. Of course, the pace of the game might be a little different. The original Household is a little bit more leaned on the narrative side. It's a little bit less crunchy, but it boils down to personal preferences. I think that if your players are used to the 5th edition and are very strict about that, I think Household is already a lot to digest, because you are small, you are fighting insects, there's a lot of social conflict, there is a lot of politics and court stuff around the house. So probably the lore of the game is already a lot different from what they are used to. So it's probably better to stick to the 5e rules. That if your players play a lot of stuff and are open to different system, I think that Household is pretty easy to use. But what I always say to everyone, there is a free quick start of the first of the original system and of the 5e edition. There is the same adventure and the same characters translated. You can download them for free, you can compare, you can try it out even with your friends and see what works best.
Yes, that's absolutely
15 minutes to go, basically.
Yes.
We are almost there. I'm always, guys, it's always so stress relieving for a campaign to start. I don't know if we can convey this properly to all of you. If you haven't done a crowdfunding campaign ever in your life, please know that once you are live, that's all the stress is basically gone. That's all the build up. So this is the hardest part. So it gets know, if you want to do a crowdfunding campaign, know that it gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and then once you launch, it gets better.
And then you see,
yeah,
if your work's paid off in the end. Sorry.
Any other new cool project on the horizon? Yes, because we are just about to deliver. Actually, we are a little more than a month early with that, which is always nice, and we are about to
deliver Outgun Adventure.
Do you have an Outgun Adventure, Simone? Just the Outgun
you want to just arrive from the.
But just this arrived.
Just meaning the
1 hour ago.
The postman came like 1 hour before the live stream. I have these pretty cool books in here.
This is I still don't have it. So I'm in love with Outgun Adventure. So
they are very new. Okay. Dynamite.
So it's I don't have the whole book, but I have so many tryouts of all the different stages, colors and stuff that I basically have all the pages around me. I just need to get them binded. Yeah, with words and everything. And we are about to reveal Outgun 3, codename Storm. So Outgun Storm will be our next project featuring our signature system. the second genre book for Outgun that will bring us into an all different genre. So after Adventures in the Household or during Adventures in the Household, we will reveal the actual theme of Outgun Storm. Simona is teasing the key ring.
The key ring.
Because we were that crazy that celebrate the last stretch goal of the Outgunned Adventure campaign, which was record-breaking campaign for Italy in general. We decided to produce actual rings like the Uncharted ring. Yeah. Yeah.
And also the coins are very good. Also, if you are not an Outgun fan, just to see that the quality is outstanding. So we are very, very happy, and I think the household coin will be spectacular as well.
There's a lot of stuff happening in the chat. I don't know if Simona, you can catch up because I have.
It's a lot of
I have all
comments and flying.
all of things going on my screen right
Thank
now.
Thank you. A lot of comp. Thank you, all of you. Super exciting. Random question. Are you anywhere that there is a bit of a market out there for thirsty fantasy romance books on fairies with a bit of a following? My wife is hooked. Not easy, of course. We always said that it's our favorite IP as an IP, so we favor the story and the character in there. I don't know what will be the future of Household. I think probably it will have a future since the Household Volume 2 went so above and beyond every possible expectation, but it's very hard for us to think about it because it's very different from what we usually do.
Daniela and I would love to make actually a comic book about Household. We say that multiple times, but then again, no one wants to buy comics from us or produce comics from The Little Mice. So Daniela and I also like to pay rent, and so we'll have to we'll wait until it's the right time to do an Household comic book or novel, maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Also would be, I agree, also would be a great animated series, very difficult to realize.
If you know anyone who is like works at
whoever,
if you are
$1
watching us,
million animation studios and it's interested, we are here, of course.
Mr. Jeff Bezos, if you happen to be watching
If you are listening to us, you just bought James Bond. I mean, what's
Household? It's much cheaper than James Bond. Which was brought for, I don't know, Simone, if it was $1 billion.
Yes.
$1 billion. So $1 billion is $1,000 million, I believe.
$1,000 million. I mean, it's James Bond.
So yeah. So we'll see. I'll take way less than $1 billion. But you know, so 9 minutes to go. The campaign should, Simone, correct me if I'm wrong, but this campaign should
every single time we are here worrying, but it should launch automatically.
We don't know.
We don't know. Every single time it's a thrill because last time it worked, but will it work this time? I don't know. Nobody knows.
So, as always, we'll learning by doing. We will find out.
Yes.
And also for those of you who weren't here during our last live stream, on my right you can see one of the new characters that Daniela just finished for this campaign, which is going to be a wayfarer, and what we called a valet as a vocation, and valet are basically people who travel for work, for a
Yes.
living, and they travel to bring stuff to other people or for other people. And she's a mail carrier, postal worker of specific postal service called the Pollen. And so she's wearing the iconic yellow and black stripe jacket of the Pollen. And her name is Ronia, and she will be one of the 24 something more probably playable character that you will find in a Saga of the Long Winter, or in its 5e conversion, Winter Never Ends.
And while we are 7 minutes away from the launch, Brian asks, who is each of your favorite characters / NPCs? Rico, your favorite, it's very different, Rico, for this.
It's different. I can play it safe, and as the majority of the Italian guys, I would say Capitano Rodomonte. And Rodomonte is the leader of the Horde of the Slua, and it's one of the first character that was actually written for Household, very mysterious character. And yeah, gotta love the pirate captain, kind of mysterious, dark, swan killing.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Legend
Slua.
building.
Exactly.
Lit-
Stuff of
lit.
legend. What about you, Simone? Favorite household?
My
character?
favorite character in entire household, it's very hard for us. Of course, I am. I love Brave Spine for a series of obvious reasons, because I love the kind of guy that is there, but it's pro, but it's young, and everyone making fun of him because it's not very political savvy, but it's very cool. It's a cool character, you know.
When we talk
It's
about
an out of time littling.
when we talk about Brave Spine, I need my great sister.
Yes.
And by the way, the guys who did this Great Sister and this Kiss Cat that you can see probably on my bookshelf are also preparing a surprise for Household Volume 2, and you might
We will
want
talk
to,
about that
yeah,
in a minute.
if you like this kind of stuff, you might want to follow them. They are called Piece of Cake, because what they do is a piece of cake, apparently. It's very easy.
They are magician. They are very close friend of ours. I visited them in their house / laboratory. I don't know how to call them. They create very spectacular things.
Yeah, everyone needs a great sister. I mean, that's very.
But we love you, and so we are not selling you because they are very costly.
Yeah,
And since I love you deeply, I'm not trying to sell this to you. Or
we
else
are-
you will buy it, but it will cost you a lot. So please say thank you.
by not selling these weapons, we are saving a lot of marriages. And
Yes,
we
yes.
are true believer. We believe in love, and we want you to stay with your significant other. So yes.
That's exactly true, Catherine. That's our situation right there. And that's why we go as a great sister, because you know we need them for convention. Let's
It's for
pay with too
reference.
little nice money. It's very useful.
It's for reference.
how
I
we
don't know
convince
how many photos of me using a scissor Daniela has on her phone. So
Yeah,
it's
also
useful.
true.
How else do you find the reference of someone wielding a scissor?
That's true. I must admit that it's 100% true.
Yeah.
Very useful for Daniela's preferences.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we are 3 minutes 22 seconds away from the launch of this campaign. 30 people here with us, waiting what will happen, how the campaign will go, how many of our friends and fellow backers would love a 5D conversion of this household. We were about to discover it.
There's also a serious question about if we talked about how the external littling, what we call the outsiders, or the outsiders nation interact with inside the house. We have discussed about that. It will be in the books. There will be a couple of pages, 4 pages dedicated to international, like intra-house relationship. But to sum it up, there is a fairy contingent, especially in the fountain or outside in the garden. The shogunate of the silver blade in the backyard is considered part of the horde, although is pretty much like
They live
autonomous.
pretty far away, so it depends on who you ask. Probably.
So they, as on paper, they are part of the horde of the basement. And then the Sealy court, which is the nation of the outside Fae, is not considered to be a nation from the house. So they are actually considered kind of rebels. The Brambles, or Bramble Town, so the city of the Barghest outside of the house, is considered to be part of the hearth, so part of the living room, but they do not consider themselves to be part of the living room. So they're
That's why we know Red Spine, like, yearly does this expedition with a lot of armed guards to try and tame this somewhat living rebellion that they continue. They live inside an actual bram, so it's very hard to find someone living inside doors.
And then there is the Citadel of the Gnomes, and the Citadel is considered to be the only real outside nation by the
And
house.
it's like a free city, like we had plenty of those in Europe back in the day. But yes, they are a city nation. 1 minute 35 seconds remaining.
Less than 1 minute to go, as always. Once we reach the 17 p.m. here in Italy, we will stop the live stream. So thank you guys for being with us. We will see you later today or tomorrow for another live stream to comment the first hours of the campaign. Thank you guys. Just about to go live, and we should be live, so we'll see you soon.
The garden. Some call it the outer or endless green. Some see it as a harsh, inhospitable land. And some call it the last bastion of freedom. Some strive to conquer it. Poor souls. The truth is, nothing out there is like it is on the inside. And it is all immeasurably vast. Too vast, even. And yet, if you know where to look, you can maybe find yourself. How am I so sure about this? Simple enough. I've seen it. Welcome to the garden.